moistened with the rain. Using it, I wipe away the last bit of crusting blood, then survey her once again, seeking further signs of my carelessness. There is nothing. Hold me in your heart, little one. Soon enough I will join you and all your sisters in service to our Lord, I tell her in farewell. I sing my prayer as I tramp back to the road, willing her soul safely and swiftly heavenward, while begging our Holy Master to let her body make an easy return to the earth, from which it was created. Chapter 1. Hungry, tired, and crusted with so much dried muck that his chain mail more crunched than jangled, Sir Faucon de Ramis watched the ravens as he rode. At least a dozen of those foul carrion-eaters turned wide circles over the grassy hillside at the far edge of this long, low valley. Faucon's lip curled in disgust. Bold creatures those birds were, as quick to feast on the dying as they were to consume the dead. So many in one place always spoke of death, be it human or animal. Faucon scanned the treeless slope, then followed the line of the Stanrud road to where it crested the hill. There was no sign of human habitation, so it was some wild creature that attracted the birds this time. None the less he was grateful to turn his shoulder to them when the time came to urge Leggett off the muddy road onto the even muddier track that led to Blackleigh village. After nearly 2 weeks of constant rain, the sky had finally cleared. Now the descending sun stretched gentle, not yet rosy fingers across a low defensive mound and the village that spread along its top and sides. His view framed by the arch of his helmet's nose-piece, Faucon eyed his destination in surprise. Why in God's name was his auspicious great-uncle calling him to such an inauspicious place? The small settlement could contain no more than 400 homes, if hovels made of mud and manure topped with thatch could be called homes. As in any other place of this sort, the fields that supplied its daily bread were close at hand, just beneath the mound, and just like in any other village, the furrows in the fields, as well as the hedges that surrounded them, went every which way to take the best advantage of slope, sun, and water. In the orchards, the trees, be they apple, pear, or walnut, were yet heavy with fruits. Harvest time was at hand. At the next turn in the track, Faucon came upon a crowd of villagers as muck-ridden as he. They were gathering up their tools. With all the rain, their wheat was too wet to harvest, so it seemed they'd spent the day seeding in next year's crop. Although a lone armed man, even one in full armour, wasn't usually a threat, no one called for him to stop and declare his intentions. That suggested Blackleigh had a strong protector and had long known peace. Shouting and whooping, a gaggle of boys raced from the field and onto the grassy verge. Bare of foot and dressed in brightly dyed homespun, each one carried a sling and had a sack of stones hanging from his belt. They'd been keeping birds from consuming the newly sown seeds before they could be covered with soil. In their native English, the boys threw goads at each other, daring one another to get closer to the knight. They leapt and hopped over clumps of grass, trying to outrun the trotting horse. Leggett gave a snort. Faucon grinned as he understood. His big-hearted boy wasn't as tired as he'd been pretending. He gave the courser his head. His steed curved his neck in a pretty bow of gratitude, then stretched his legs. In an instant the boys all bellowed in frustration as the horse left them well behind, his easy gait swiftly eating up the distance to the base of the mound and the flimsy gateway in the village's wholly inadequate defensive wall. Leggett was almost into the opening before Faucon caught a glimpse of the flock of sheep on the other side.